Now we will discuss the last topic of the second unit, that is Hilbert transform. Simply introduction to Hilbert transform. Up to now we discussed about Fourier transform completely. Now we are moving on to Hilbert transform. Okay, this Hilbert transform is different from a Fourier transform, Laplace transform, Z transform in a way such that here the Hilbert transform does not change the signal from one domain to another domain, whereas this Fourier transform or Z transform or Laplace transform will convert the signal from time domain to frequency domain. See, we all know the Fourier transform. In Fourier transform, the signal will be converted from a time domain to the frequency domain, whereas in Hilbert transform, the signal will be in time domain only. That is, the Hilbert transformed signal is also in time domain. Okay, this is a very important part. For Fourier transform, Laplace transform or Z transform, they will convert the signal from time domain to the frequency domain, whereas the Hilbert transform, the signal will be in time domain only. That is, if you take a signal in time domain, if we go for the Hilbert transform of that signal, the Hilbert transformed signal will also be in time domain. Okay, now we will see what is Hilbert transform. We will see what is Hilbert transform. Here, when the phase angles of all the positive frequency spectral component, when the phase angles of all the positive frequency spectral components are shifted by 90 degrees, when the phase angles of all the positive frequency spectral component, that is positive omega of the given signal. So in x of t, the positive omega components, that is the phase angles of all the positive frequency spectral components of the given signal, are shifted by minus 90 degrees, and the phase angles of all the negative frequency spectral components, are shifted by plus 90 degrees, then the resulting function of time is called the Hilbert transform of the signal. Simple. Here, the positive omega, that is the positive frequency spectral components, so is shifted by minus 90 degrees. That is, for all the positive omega 2, omega 3, omega, that is shifted by minus 90 degrees, and the phase angles of negative frequency spectral component, negative frequency means minus 2 omega naught, that is negative omega, is shifted by plus 90 degrees, then the resulting function in time is called the Hilbert transform of the signal. That is, see here, the resulting function in time, that is Hilbert transformed signal, is also in time domain. Hence they mentioned the resulting function in time is called the Hilbert transform of the signal. So here there is no change in amplitude. So while we going for the Hilbert transform, there is no change in the amplitude spectrum, only the phase spectrum changes. That is, here only the phase angles will change. That is, the phase angles will shift either positive plus 90 degrees and minus negative 90 degrees. That is, when the phase angles of all the positive frequency spectral components are of a given signal are shifted by minus 90 degrees, and the phase angles of all the negative frequency spectral components are shifted by positive, that is plus 90 degrees, then the resulting function in time is called the Hilbert transform. So in Hilbert transform, what will happens? Okay, here the positive frequency spectral components will shift by minus 90 degrees, and negative frequency spectral components will shift by plus 90 degrees. One with minus 90 degrees, that is plus omega components shift by minus 90 degrees, and minus omega components will shift by plus 90 degrees. After that shifting, the resulting function in time is nothing but the Hilbert transform of the signal. Simple. See, here the amplitude spectrum is unchanged because the change is only with respect to phase spectrum. The phase angles will change. So the amplitude spectrum is unchanged. Only the phase spectrum changes. An important one, Hilbert transformed signal is also a time domain signal. That means, consider a signal x of t and you perform a Hilbert transform on that signal. Okay, the resultant signal will also be in time domain. Whereas, if you consider the signal x of t and perform Fourier transform and find out the x of omega, that x of omega will be in frequency domain, whereas here Hilbert transform will be in time domain. Fourier transform is represented with capital X of omega. Hilbert transform is represented with x cap of t. X of t is a given signal. For that, the Hilbert transform is represented with x cap of t. Okay. Now, Hilbert transform operation is a linear operation. How will you say? See, first we will see what the Hilbert transform operation is. Then we know that is a linear operation. Here, the Hilbert transform, I said the Hilbert transform is represented with x cap of t. So, the Hilbert transform of a signal x of t, the Hilbert transform of a signal x of t is obtained by convoluting the signal x of t with 1 by pi t. That is simply convolution of the given signal x of t with 1 by pi t will give the Hilbert transform. Simple. Hilbert transform is nothing but convolution of x of t with 1 by pi t. Hence, I written this is the representation of Hilbert transform. So, x cap of t will be equal to the given signal x of t convolution. This is a symbol for convolution into 1 by pi t. Simple. The Hilbert transform x cap of t of a signal x of t is nothing but the convolution of x of t with 1 by pi t. So, we can represent like this. X cap of t equal to x of t convolution 1 by pi t. We all know the formula for convolution. So, apply the formula of convolution, then we get x cap of t equal to, so pi is a constant. So, I taken it outside. So, 1 by pi. Here two signals. One is x of t, another one is 1 by t. 1 by t. So, the convolution formula, integral minus infinity, replace with tau. X of tau into 1 by t minus tau. X of tau into 1 by t minus tau. Or simply I write x of tau by t minus tau d tau. Or we can write the convolution formula in another way. That is, here we have to go for t minus tau and here the t is replaced with tau. That is 1 by pi integral minus infinity x of t minus tau by tau. So here simply the first function is replaced with tau and the second function will be replaced with t minus tau, or first function is replaced with t minus tau and the second function is replaced with tau. So anything is same. We all know the formula of convolution. Okay, so using the formula of convolution, I have written x cap of t equal to 1 by pi into minus infinity. First, x of t is replaced with x of tau into 1 by t minus tau d tau, or x cap of t equal to 1 by pi into minus infinity x of t minus tau into 1 by tau, that is x of t minus tau by tau d tau. So these are the formulas for Hilbert transform. So from this I can go for inverse Hilbert transform also. That is, whenever they had given the Hilbert transform function, from that I can find out the original function x of t also. So how can I find out the original function x of t? By using the inverse Hilbert transform. So the formula for inverse Hilbert transform is x of t, the original function will be equal to 1 by pi integral minus infinity. So they had given the Hilbert transform of the signal, that is x cap of tau by t minus tau d tau. X cap of tau minus by t minus tau d tau. By using this formula, I can find out the original signal x of t from the given Hilbert transform. So that is nothing but inverse Hilbert transform. So we know Fourier transform and inverse Fourier transform. In the same way, Hilbert transform and inverse Hilbert transform. First, whenever they had given a signal x of t. So if we convolute that x of t with 1 by pi t, then we get the Hilbert transform of that signal. So in that what happens? Simply the positive frequency spectral components will be shifted by minus 90 degrees and negative frequency spectral components will be shifted by plus 90 degrees. Okay. So this is theoretically I can explain like this, and mathematically the formula is x cap of t will be equal to x of t star x of t convolution 1 by pi t. So they apply the formulas. So these are the functions. So you can use this formula or you can use this formula because both are the formulas for convolution. And after that, you know the Hilbert transform of the signal. From that you have to find out the original signal x of t. So that will be obtained by the inverse Hilbert transform. The inverse Hilbert x of t will be equal to 1 by pi into the minus infinity x cap of tau by t minus tau d tau. X cap of tau. Here x cap of tau is a representation of Hilbert transform. This is nothing but Hilbert transform. They had given this one. From this you are finding the original signal x of t. Simply here x of t and x cap of t, that is will form a Hilbert transform pair, whereas x of t and x of omega will form a Fourier transform pair. Here x of t and x cap of t will form a Hilbert transform pair. See, on seeing these equations, you can say the Hilbert transform operation is a linear operation. It is a linear operation because the resultant signal will also be in the time domain. It is in time domain. It is a linear operation. So simply on seeing these equations, we can say that Hilbert transform operation of x of t. The Hilbert transform operation of x of t is a linear operation. And for which signals we will apply this Hilbert transform? This Hilbert transform is applicable to all signals that are Fourier transformable. That is, so for the signals for which we get the Fourier transform, for all those signals we will get the Hilbert transform also. Okay, so the signals for which we will get the Fourier transform, for all those signals we will get Hilbert transform also. That is, Hilbert transform is applicable to all signals that are Fourier transformable. So for the signals for which we get the Fourier transform, for all those signals we will get the Hilbert transform. So this is a small introduction about Hilbert transform. First I had given the definition of Hilbert transform, what a Hilbert transform is. So here in this Hilbert transform only the two things happens. That is, here the positive frequency spectral components shift by minus 9 degrees and negative frequency spectral components shift by plus 90 degrees. If the shifting takes place like this, then the resulting signal at that time is called as Hilbert transform of the signal. And if you want to say it mathematically, the Hilbert transform of the signal x of t is nothing but x convolution of that signal with 1 by pi t. That is x cap of t, where x cap of t is the representation of Hilbert transform. X cap of t equal to signal x of t convolution 1 by pi t. So if I apply the formula for this, I get x cap of t equal to 1 by pi into integral minus infinity x cap x of tau by t minus tau d tau, or x cap of t equal to 1 by pi into integral minus infinity x of t minus tau by tau d tau. Now, if you know the Hilbert transform, from that we can get the original signal x of t, that is inverse Hilbert transform, that is x of t equal to 1 by pi integral minus infinity x cap of tau by t minus tau d tau. Here these two x of t and x cap of t will form an Hilbert transform pair. Here the important one is, here the Hilbert transform signal is also a time domain signal. Hilbert transformed signal is also time domain signal, and the amplitude spectrum is unchanged. There is no change in the amplitude spectrum, only the phase spectrum changes. Why? Because the positive frequency spectral components will shift by minus 90 degrees and negative frequency spectral components will shift by plus 90 degrees. And these equations shows that the Hilbert transform operation of x of t is a linear operation, and this Hilbert transform is applicable for all the signals which are Fourier transformable. Okay, we know Hilbert transform x cap of t can be interpreted as the convolution of x of t with the time function 1 by pi t. We know that is nothing but Hilbert transform is the convolution of x of t with 1 by pi t. Here 1 by pi t is the time function. So for the time function 1 by pi t, if you want to find out the Fourier transform, the Fourier transform of the 1 by pi t is minus j sgn of omega, minus j sgn of omega. I will explain how we got this one. Why we converted this, why we applied this Fourier transform means, here we know that convolution property of the Fourier transform. What this says, the convolution in time domain will be transferred to, convolution in time domain, it will be transferred to multiplication of the Fourier transforms in frequency domain. So convolution of the signals in time domain will be transferred to multiplication of the Fourier transforms in frequency domain. For that purpose, here I am finding the first Fourier transforms. Okay, so 1 by pi t, the Fourier transform of this function will be minus j sgn of omega. So I will explain how we got this. We know sgn of omega, we know the sgn of the signum function in time domain. Sgn of omega is the signum function in frequency domain. Here sgn of omega is the signum function in frequency domain, and we have values of sgn of t. Sgn of t equal to 1 for t greater than 0, equal to minus 1 for t less than 0. In the same way, sgn of omega equal to 1 for omega greater than 0, and sgn of omega equal to minus 1 for omega less than 0. Omega less than 0. Simple. Okay, so why we gone for this is, the convolution of two signals in the time domain is transferred to the multiplication of the Fourier transform in their frequency domain. For that, I am finding the first Fourier transforms of the signals. So here signals are x of t and 1 by pi t. So x of t, the Fourier transform x of omega, and 1 by pi t, the Fourier transform is minus j sgn of omega. How we got this? This 1 by pi t having a Fourier transform minus j sgn of omega is obtained by applying the duality property to the Fourier transform of signum function. You all know the Fourier transform of signum function. So I already proved this. We all know the Fourier transform of signum function. Signum function is having a Fourier transform of 2 by j omega. So I am considering Sgn of t is having a Fourier transform 2 by j omega. For this, if we apply the duality property, then I will get this one. Okay. So you have to prove by applying the duality property to this one, we will get this one. That is for your work. So practice this one. Apply the duality property to this one, then you will get the 1 by pi t will have a Fourier transform as minus j Sgn of omega. That is for your work. Okay. Now see, simply here I got this by applying the duality property to the Sgn of t is having a Fourier transform to 2 by j omega. Now the Fourier transform x cap of omega of x cap of t. Here this is x cap of t is the Hilbert transform of x of t, and capital X cap of omega is the Fourier transform of Hilbert transform of the signal. Capital X cap of omega is the Fourier transform of Hilbert transform of the signal, and that value will be equal to minus j Sgn of omega into x of omega. X cap of omega equal to minus j Sgn of omega into x of omega. So I said here the convolution of two signals in time domain, the convolution of two signals in time domain is transferred to the multiplication of the Fourier transforms in frequency domain. See, so we are going to the frequency domain, hence I got the, we all know what is Hilbert transform. So here x cap of t is nothing but x of t convolution 1 by pi t convolution. So this is in time domain, we are going for the convolution. Now this will be transformed to frequency domain, then what happens? We will get the multiplication of the Fourier transform of this one. Multiplication of the Fourier transform. So x of t, the Fourier transform is x of omega. For 1 by pi t, the Fourier transform is minus j sine omega. So this x cap of t, I am going to the frequency domain, that is Fourier transform. So the Fourier transform of x cap of t is capital X cap of omega. So capital X cap of omega equal to, what I have to do? I have to go for the multiplication of the Fourier transform of each one. So Fourier transform of x of t is x of omega, and the Fourier transform of 1 by pi t is minus j sine minus j Sgn of omega. So this is simple logic. Okay. So first we all know this function. We all know this function. So this is in time domain. If you want to convert that into the frequency domain, frequency domain is applying Fourier transform. So apply the Fourier transform this one. We will get capital X cap of omega. Okay. Now in frequency domain, the convolution will be transferred to multiplication of the Fourier transform of each one. So here x of t, the Fourier transform is x of omega, and 1 by pi t, the Fourier transform is minus j Sgn of omega. Clear? Now that is x cap of omega will be equal to, when omega is greater than 0, omega is greater than 0. So omega value greater than 0, that value will become as minus j x of omega. Minus j x of omega. Why? Because for omega greater than 0, Sgn of omega is 1. So here we have to write 1. That is minus j x of omega. For omega less than 0, the Sgn of omega is minus 1. So minus of minus plus, that is j x of omega. J x of omega, that is omega less than 0. Simply by using this, I can get this one. Okay. So from the above equation, we can say that Hilbert transform is obtained by passing x of t through a linear port device. This is called as linear port device. Linear port device whose transfer function is minus j sine Sgn of omega, minus j signum of omega. Okay, or simply we can represent like this: x of t will pass through a two-port device having 1 by pi t. That means the transfer function. So the transfer function is nothing but the Fourier transform of output by the input. That is, here the transfer function is minus j Sgn of omega. So this is the output and this is the input. So output by input, capital X cap of omega by x of omega will give minus j Sgn of omega. This is the transfer function. So that is output, the Fourier output by input in Fourier transforms. With respect to the Fourier transform, that is x cap of omega by x of omega will give minus js. So on seeing this equation, we can say that Hilbert transform is obtained by passing x of t through a linear port device whose transfer function is this one. So I can represent that as x of t is passed through a system, then it will give x cap of t. Clear? Now this x cap of t will have a produce minus 90 degrees shift for positive frequency spectral components and plus 90 degrees shift for negative frequency spectral components. Clear? So for that I will give the magnitude response and phase response. See here. So here the magnitude does not change. The magnitude spectrum does not change. Hence the mod of x cap of omega equal to mod of x of omega. So for this and for this the magnitude is same. Hence there is no change in the magnitude spectrum. So this is the magnitude spectrum. Okay, if you consider the magnitude mod, the value is always 1 because so here we will get the square minus 1 whole square or 1 square. That is for all values of omega we have plus 1. That is fixed. Come to the phase response, phase spectrum. See in phase spectrum I said for a positive frequency spectral component, positive omega, there is minus 90 degrees phase shift. Hence we have minus 90 degrees phase shift. And for negative frequency component, negative frequency spectral components, we have plus 90 degrees phase shift. Plus 90. Since for negative omega we have plus 90 degrees phase shift, and for positive omega we have minus 90 degrees phase shift. Hence this is the representation of the phase response. So in this way I can represent the phase response, in this way I can represent the magnitude response. And mod of x cap of omega, mod of x cap of omega will be equal to mod of x of, that is the amplitude spectrum that not change, that is the amplitude of the frequency components when passed through a system to get the Hilbert transform, they cannot change. There is no change in the amplitudes of the frequency components when they are passed through a system. Okay, this is the explanation about the Hilbert transform. So I had given the introduction and the equations and everything. So I completely explained about the Hilbert transform. I gave the complete introduction of Hilbert transform. So here I left with the properties of Hilbert transform and applications. So now we will see the properties of Hilbert transform along with the applications of Hilbert transform. With that we will finish the topic introduction to Hilbert transform. Okay, now we will see about properties of a Hilbert transform. Properties of Hilbert transform. Already I explained you the properties of Hilbert transform while explaining the concept of Hilbert transform. Here I had given them separately. Okay, see one by one. The first one is the Hilbert transform does not change the domain of a signal. The Hilbert transform does not change the domain of a signal. Consider if there is a signal x of t, there is a signal x of t, and you converted this using the Hilbert transform, and that signal is x cap of t. Okay, so here this x cap of t is the Hilbert transformed signal of x of t. Hilbert transformed signal of x of t. Here x of t is in time domain, and the Hilbert transformed signal of the x of t, that is x cap of t, will also be in time domain. There is no change of domain here in this Hilbert transform. That is our first property. I already explained you that one. Hilbert transform does not change the domain of the signal. That is, as the given signal is in time domain, that is x of t, then the Hilbert transform of the signal is x cap of t. That signal will also be in time domain. Whereas for Fourier transform, if the given signal is in time domain x of t, then the Fourier transform of the signal, the Fourier transformed signal x of omega will be in the frequency domain. Whereas in Hilbert transform, the signal, if the signal is in time domain, that is x of t is in time domain, then the Hilbert transformed of the signal, that is x cap of t, will also be in time domain. So the Hilbert transform does not change the domain of a signal. Okay, next one. Hilbert transform does not alter the amplitude spectrum of a signal. The Hilbert transform does not alter the amplitude spectrum of a signal. So here the Hilbert transform does not alter the amplitude spectrum. That is, consider the signal as x of t and its Hilbert transformed signal is x cap of t. This x of t and x cap of t both will have the same amplitude spectrum. That is, for x of t there is some amplitude spectrum, and I gone for the Hilbert transform of that x of t. The Hilbert transformed signal of this x of t is x cap of t. If I draw the amplitude spectrum of this x cap of t, that will be the same as x of t. That is, here the signal and the Hilbert transform version of that signal, both will have the same amplitude spectrum. Same amplitude spectrum. That is, Hilbert transform does not alter the amplitude spectrum of a signal. So the amplitude spectrum does not change when we perform the Hilbert transform of a signal. For the signal and the Hilbert transformed version of the signal, both will have the same amplitude spectrum. That is the second property. And third one, a signal x of t and its Hilbert transform x cap of t are orthogonal to each other. Are orthogonal, that is only perpendicular to each other. So here the signal x of t and its Hilbert transformed version, that is x cap of t, both are orthogonal to each other. Orthogonal. So when we say two signals are orthogonal to each other, so we will say two signals are orthogonal to each other whenever integral of the product of the two signals over a given interval is 0. Integral of the product of the two signals over a given interval is 0. Then I can say the two signals are orthogonal. So here this x of t and x cap of t are orthogonal to each other. That means we can write that as integral minus infinity to infinity. That is the interval. Integral minus infinity to infinity. X of t, the signal, and x cap of t, the Hilbert transform of the signal. The product of x of t and x cap of t dt will be equal to 0. Integral of signal and its Hilbert transform, the two signals, the product of the two signals over interval minus infinity should be 0. Simply here we all know the two signals are orthogonal, then we can say the integral of the product of the two signals over the given interval motion should be equal to 0. By using that, they are given integral minus infinity x of t into x cap of t dt will be equal to 0. Here x of t is the given signal and x cap of t is the Hilbert transform of that signal. So the integral of the product or the interval minus infinity is 0. We can say those are orthogonal, or if the two are orthogonal, it has to satisfy this condition. Hence the third property is a signal x of t and its Hilbert transform x cap of t are orthogonal to each other. That is integral minus infinity x of t x cap of t dt equal to 0. And the last one, the fourth one, if x cap of t is the Hilbert transform of x of t, that is the given signal is x of t and x cap of t is the Hilbert transform of the x of t, then the Hilbert transform of x cap of t, I need the Hilbert transform of this one. So the Hilbert transform of this one, will be equal to minus x of t. So the Hilbert transform of this one is nothing but minus x of t. Clear? Okay. So the last property is, if x cap of t is the Hilbert transform of x of t, x cap of t is the Hilbert transform of x of t, then Hilbert transform of x cap of t, will be equal to minus x of t, Clear? So this is our fourth property. So these are the four properties of Hilbert transform. Already I had explained the first two properties while I am explaining the concept of Hilbert transform. Okay. So here see the properties once again. The first one is Hilbert transform does not change the domain of a signal. Second one, the Hilbert transform does not alter the amplitude spectrum of a signal. That is, the signal and its Hilbert transform both will have the same amplitude spectrum. Hilbert transform does not alter the amplitude spectrum of a signal. And third one, a signal x of t and its Hilbert transform x cap of t are orthogonal to each other. That is integral minus infinity x of t x into x cap of t dt equal to 0. And the last one, if x cap of t is the Hilbert transform of x of t, then Hilbert transform of x cap of t is equal to minus x of t. So these are the four properties of Hilbert transform. So the last one, that is nothing but the applications of this Hilbert transform. This Hilbert transform will find an extensive applications, a wide range of extensive applications in the areas of signal processing, signal analysis, signal synthesis, and design of filters. Okay, this Hilbert transform has an extensive applications, a wide range of applications in the areas of signal processing, signal analysis, signal synthesis, that is synthesis of signals, and design of filter designing. So these will find the applications in the areas of filter designing. Whenever we want to design a filter, we have to use this Hilbert transform, or if we want to either analyze the signals or we have to synthesize the signals, we will use this Hilbert transform, and in signal processing also we will use this Hilbert transform. So these are the areas where we find the applications. Okay, so the Hilbert transform will have a wide range of applications in the areas of signal processing, analysis and synthesis of signals, and design of filters. Now I will give you some important applications where we use this Hilbert transform. The first one is to represent the band pass signals. Okay, I said already. So this will be used in the area of design of filters, low pass filter, high pass filter, band pass filter, band reject filters. So in design of those filters, we will use this Hilbert transform. Hence they said to represent band pass signals whenever we need the representation of a band pass. So if the signals are passed through a band of frequencies, then we will use this Hilbert transform. So Hilbert transform is used in the application to represent the band pass signal. And second one, to relate the gain and phase characteristics of linear communication channels. To relate the gain and phase characteristics. So whenever there is a relation between gain and phase characteristics of linear communication channels, there is a channel, for the channel there is some gain and there is some phase. If we want to relate this gain and phase characteristics of a linear communication channel, then we will use this Hilbert transform. So this Hilbert transform will find applications in the area of relating the gain and phase characteristics. And the last one, third important one is to realize a phase selectivity in the generation of single sideband modulation systems. So here SSB is nothing but single sideband. Okay, single sideband modulation system. Okay, so to realize a phase selectivity in the generation of SSB modulation system, while we are going for the generation of SSB modulation system, so we are generating the SSB modulation system. In that to realize the phase selectivity, so we have to select the proper phase there. So where we will use this there we will use this Hilbert transform. So this Hilbert transform is used to realize the phase selectivity in the generation of SSB modulation systems. So these are the three important applications of this Hilbert transform. And finally, if we consider two signals, let us consider two signals as x of t and y of t. Here x of t is a very low pass signal, x of t is a low pass signal, and y of t is a very high pass signal. I am considering two signals as x of t and y of t. X of t is a low pass signal and y of t is a very high pass signal, and this x of t and y of t spectrum are not overlapped. Okay, if the spectrum of this x of t and y of t are not overlapped, then see the Hilbert transform of product of low pass signal and very high pass signal. The Hilbert transform of product of low pass signal and very high pass signal must and should be equal to the product of low pass signal and Hilbert transform of very high pass signal. For that we can represent in equation format as x of t into y of t whole cap, that is Hilbert transform of product of low pass signal x of t and very high pass signal y of t, and that will be equal to product of low pass signal x of t and Hilbert transform of very high pass signal y of t, that is y cap of t. Okay, so this is the representation. So we present it like this. So last I concluded here with a sentence, that is, while considering two signals, one is a low pass signal and the other one is a very high pass signal, then the Hilbert transform of the product of the low pass signal and very high pass signal must should be equal to the product of low pass signal and Hilbert transform of the very high pass signal. So for that I had taken x of t as a low pass signal and y of t as a very high pass signal. So x of t into y of t whole cap, that is Hilbert transform of product of x of t and y of t, will be equal to x of t into y of t cap, that is product of low pass signal and Hilbert transform of very high pass signal. So this is the complete explanation regarding the Hilbert transform. Okay, so I had given the definition of Hilbert transform on what is an Hilbert transform and explain the concept of Hilbert transform, and then I gone for the magnitude spectrum and then phase response, magnitude response and phase response. I had given the diagrams. Okay, and then I gone for the properties of Hilbert transform. After that I gone for the applications of Hilbert transform, and I concluded with the Hilbert transform of a low pass signal and a very high pass signal concept. Okay, so I consider two signals, one is a low pass and another one is a high pass, because these are well used areas of highly used in the areas of design of filters. So to represent the band pass to represent the band pass signals, these Hilbert transform will be used. For that reason, here I consider two signals, x of t as low pass signal and y of t as very high pass signal, and I gone for the relation between those two with respect to Hilbert transform. Hilbert transform. So this is completely regarding the Hilbert transform. Okay. With this we completed our second unit. So I covered all the topics of second unit. In this class, if you go for the summary, first I explained you the how we get the Fourier transform, how to get the Fourier transform of a periodic signal, and then I explained you about the concept of Hilbert transform. Okay, so this is today's class, and I hope you are all clear with this. Thank you, one and all.